Ben, it's good to see you again. We haven't not seen each other in a few years, but it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
And my name is Dean Anthony, and I'm the director of the production.
My name is Ben Makino, and I'm the conductor.
So, who do you think the smartest person in the room is in this show?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear by the end, yeah? It's the title character.
Yeah, it's got to be Schicchi.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think he walks in the door prepared to do what he does either. That's the thing. So, in the course of a very short amount of time, he's got to come up with this plan, boom, 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 instill it, and then he just ends up with all the things.
Not only can he read the situation, he can read all of the people involved. And he can see the outcome that's going to be. Actually, the outcome doesn't hurt everyone, right? Everyone ends up ahead of where they were.
No, a bunch of people make out good. I mean, Loretta, Renuccio, yeah. The notary gets paid when he gets out of it. The Pinot Guccio still have a job. Yeah, I mean, so all those things still work out.
Yeah, and the family gets the cash, right?
Well, the family, they all got something.
Yeah, they all get something.
It just wasn't that big, specific couple things that I changed the storyline on. In this.
Yeah.
But musically, I think that, this might be a question that comes up later. But I think Puccini does give us that musical thematic thinking music for Schicchi. Not the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when Schicchi's processing. That's a really interesting theme that comes up quite a bit in the show.
Yeah, it's how we start when we're in the room, right? And they're all waiting for something to happen. There's a lot of that figuring things out, right? Where if you see it the first time, you might not catch that that's what's happening. That when you enter the scene, the kind of strategizing by the family could already be going on, right? Like they're already thinking.
Of course. But I think it's so funny to watch this family go through this thing where they hate him so much, they don't want him in the room. It's like, get out.
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later, they're just so desperate to get anything from this guy. So there's this desperation from them that feeds Schicchi big time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Feeds him immensely.
Yeah,
to control this room.
So that's an interesting question. Do you think there are any, because it's easy to see him as a hero, but do you think there are any, and it's easy to see everyone else as having these real deep character flaws, but do you think there's anything in Schicchi that's kind of, I don't know, worthy of criticism? Like, can we criticize him for anything? Obviously Dante criticized him.
Yeah, but he laughs it off.
Yeah.
But I think there's a humanity aspect of it. I mean, I think that he puts them in their place. I mean,
yeah. So talking about the orchestra music, I mean, it's an interesting question, right? That comes up in comedy, in Rossini comedy, and in this piece, like how does music play into being funny, right? Because a lot of the time, that feels like the jokes come from the text or come from the situation, and the orchestra is highlighting that. But I think in this piece, there are some moments, like in the scene with the doctor, when he's talking about "hai avuto il beneficio," like there's some real lowbrow humor.
Yeah, but it's also about tempo. I think a lot of it is tempo for me, with the comedy or the intensity or what's funny or whatever we're looking at. It's pretty clear the way Puccini drives this show pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, he's really keeping it going.
He is.
And it's something I think not everyone may be aware that this is like doing the comedy and having this extra structure, this musical structure, means that it has to be, like you have to really practice it even more and more and more and more.
Absolutely.
Right? Because everything has to be timed to what the music is setting up. And in this piece, there is a lot of that, where the musical momentum is set, right?
It is, but there's no push. There isn't this push and pull that we don't have that.
Yeah.
It's not Bohème.
It's not.
Yes, exactly.
It's really late in Puccini's work, and there's some of that, like whatever you want to say, like early 20th century, like neoclassical kind of texture and kind of set of tempo going on in the piece that serves.
Well, especially if you listen to all three of them together in the sequence of all of them.
Yeah.
That's part of the fit. It's really interesting, which whoever does that, except for the big companies, usually. I mean, all three at the same time, and we can't afford that.
Yeah, it makes for a long evening for people now.
It can. Yeah, everybody's temperature is a little too short. I mean, we're only doing Schicchi. And it's a high impact, little over an hour with the pre-show that I do. So the discussion of is Puccini on anybody's side,
Yeah.
or is he just enjoying the chaos? I mean, you say the word chaos and you put this piece with it, it's chaos. So I'm going to lean toward the chaos, and I think he enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Puccini enjoys watching them fall, watching them go down. I mean, it's not, he didn't write it. It's not his libretto.
No, but I think there's also something to, at the same time that it appears to be chaotic, right? It's extremely structured music. Like the entrances, that everything, it's extremely structured. And then the result can be that you feel like it's chaotic. But I think there's something I get sometimes in Puccini this enjoyment of like what he can do. Like he can do a lot of things, right? And sometimes you see that he did something and it just seems like that must have been so fun to think of. You know?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I think, for me, in the first minute and a half of the show, you get all these characters who are in their weepy state.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, Buoso. And then they turn on a dime and yell at somebody else. And then go back to being like that. So that's already, in seconds, oh, these people are just weeping over nothing. They don't care about him.
Yeah.
And actually, he's not even gone yet. I mean, there's a place in the score that is where his breath goes out. So he's not dead right at the top of the show. Buoso. Well, I think the question of is, what's the biggest overreaction of this show? And I think that, probably the family's overreaction to some of the items that they lose from Schicchi.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the items that we might not think of as being
Correct.
so valuable.
Correct.
But for some reason have immense value
Right.
to
Yeah.
everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. But how some of these things, I don't even know how they could split them between the whole family. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're items that can't be shared, right?
Correct.
Which is why they're all angling to Ted
Yeah.
to leave them. But the answer as to why they want them is never given.
It isn't.
No,
No.
we just have to accept that they want them.
Yep. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple of moments. There's a moment right when Schicchi comes in. What does he say? And he's talking to Marco and translating as we go on. He's like, "Oh, I'm so moved by your loss." And like this is a literal overreaction, right? And Marco says, "And the loss is so big."
Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of depending on how we read it, like kind of unintentionally gives away the whole thing. So he's alluding to the loss of everything. Either he's just saying, yeah, it's a big loss, or it's, yeah, what do you think? Or he's saying, it's a big loss, but we lost all this money. And Schicchi is like, oh, he has an idea before the big fight that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows all of them. I think he understands and he can see this is already coming, and this is not a new thing that Buoso's saying.
Yeah.
I always do it too, that he knows Buoso. That's my other take.
Yeah.
That may not be in the libretto.
So he could even know the situation that the family is going to be in.
Correct. Or it's the type of thing that I see it, and especially the way I changed the date a little bit in the storyline, is that he has actually been more involved in Buoso's life than any of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way for me to look at it. Because so now they're showing up the last minute to get what's left in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he knows it from the start. So before we started this interview thing, we were talking about some things about the show that are fascinating. And there was a humanity idea about who's the most human character, what does Puccini do, and all these things. And we both kind of went to Renuccio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that especially when they're running around looking for the will, and everybody's going crazy and throwing stuff, and it's crazy. And then Renuccio finds the will, and then all of a sudden the orchestration changed into this incredibly beautiful, lush, and he's just, and it's while all this pandemonium's going down. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire opera.
Because it comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Because it's like dun 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 dun.
Right. because we've also just gone. It's all this fast stuff of people trying to find these papers and that, and then he finds it. It's almost like he can just relax, and everybody's going crazy, and he's got it. Now he's going to be able to get married to Loretta. So we see this. I love Renuccio's character. I love him.
Well, he is the person who is, like, he's an optimistic
Absolutely.
person the whole way through, right?
Yes.
He's like, who can fix the problem? Schicchi can fix the problem. Look at this city we live in. This city is so great. The future is going to be great. Everything is going to be wonderful.
But he doesn't leave. He doesn't blow the family off and just say, screw it, I'm going to go be with him.
No.
He stays there, so there's this loyalty aspect, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And he's there for all the craziness.
Yeah.
And he's involved in some of it too. But I love that architecture of that character.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a good question. Who changes? I mean, who really grows the most in this show?
Yeah, so Dean, there have been so many different ways of doing Schicchi, right?
Yep.
But your production is set in a very particular kind of world. You have a very particular view on it. I think it would be great to hear some about where it came from, what you're going for.
You know, it's interesting because I'm not a real updating opera kind of guy. I don't generally just process how I'm going to update this thing, but the way this story and then the way this opera kind of manifested for me was actually out of a COVID thing, and I was doing this outside in a covered space, but I had to utilize all these things, and so and I had a Vespa at that time, and I kind of went, oh, so if I say, how about if I make Schicchi a Vespa service mechanic in around 1949 when Vespa was first created in Italy, and how about I make Buoso, and I was like, okay, Vespa rhymes with mula, so, and that's not money, and mula is a mule. So that's the thing, is that he, in the original piece, he has this mule that's worth all this money, but I can say mula, la Vespa. I can just shift that, and that Buoso has this fleet of Vespas that the family wants, so then I can change it. But I also then went, I have a lot of vintage furniture in my life, and I went, okay, I can make him a little bit of a hoarder, and he's a little collector, and we can do it more in a warehouse, and a more of a eccentric Buoso's a little more eccentric. So that's how it morphed into this, and it's crazy, and but it doesn't change the story in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I think what's nice about it is that, because one of the layers on Schicchi, right, is this Dante thing, and if you're Italian, you're familiar with this passage from the Inferno, right? It's just a couple of lines.
Yeah.
And it's quoted in the piece, right?
Right.
But if you're not, then it can become a barrier to understand, especially if there's like people are dressed in this like 11th century Florentine.
Right, and those are unique costumes that when you watch that show, and you really have you can't embrace it.
Yeah.
This way you can embrace it.
Yeah, and the themes don't change.
They don't.
I guess people don't change.
Well, no, they don't. But, even with Pino and Guccio, who are a cobbler and a whatever he is, I make them, they wear this same outfit, and they just work for Schicchi, and they turn in, and so that adds a little bit of, relationship, aspect to it, which I love. I don't know. I mean, it's fun. It is fun, and it just takes a different approach, and it's okay to do it in Italian because it's in their language. So we're not really. I do a little weird stuff in it too. When the notary reads, I actually changed the dates. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I changed. It's actually my birthday. Oh, so there's something really important I want you to see.
Okay.
And I'll be brief. So there's this motorcycle helmet that I have that was gifted to me years ago that Loretta comes in with when she arrives with Schicchi. Because I have a sound cue of a Vespa arriving to the door, and they all hear it, and then she runs in. But this helmet, when you see this show, this helmet was given to me by Blythe Danner, who is Gwyneth Paltrow's mom, friend of a friend. Yep, I have that. But she was dating Chevy Chase, and that's how she got the helmet. And apparently Dustin Hoffman had given that helmet to Chevy Chase. So this helmet goes all through these incredible people, and it's in our production of Gianni Schicchi.
Let's come to see the helmet.
Just come see the helmet. So come and see Gianni Schicchi.
May 8th and 10th at the Bijou Theater.